Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nasta Prayesu Habadresu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistikim. Reading from before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is very meant of concourse, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author, by regular attendance in classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, by rendering of service unto the pure devotees of the Lord, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental song is established as an irrevocable fact. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 13, Text 18. The chapter entitled The Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavata Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnava Priyam Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsayam Ekam Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate. Yasmin Paramahamsayam Ekam Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate. Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naiskarmyam Aviskritam. Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naiskarmyam Aviskritam. Tat Srinvan Supatan Vicharana Paro Bhaktya Vimuchya Naram. Tat Srinvan Supatan Vicharana Paro Bhaktya Vimuchya Naram. Srimad Bhagavata Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsayam Ekam Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate. Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naiskarmyam Aviskritam. Tat Srinvan Supatan Vicharana Paro Bhaktya Vimuchya Nara.
Srimad Yasmin Alamaha Smasyam Kamalam Shanam Param Viyate Tatrashanam Haka Bhakti Snitam Naisyakayam Aviskritam Tashinam Supatam Shahana Avopakya Vimuchye Namaha
Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Puranam, the Purana, Amalam, perfectly pure, yet which Vaishnavanam, to the Vaishnavas, Priyam, most dear, Yasmin, in which Paramahamsayam, attainable by the topmost devotees, Ekam, exclusive, Amalam, perfectly pure, Jnanam, knowledge, Param, supreme, Giyate, is sung, Tatra, there, Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam, together with knowledge, renunciation, and devotion, Naiskarmyam, freedom from all material work, Aviskritam, is revealed, Tat, that, Srinvan, hearing, Supatam, properly chanting, Vicharana Para, who is serious about understanding, Bhaktya, with devotion, Vimuchyet, becomes totally liberated, Nara, a person. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless Purana. It is the most dear to the Vaishnava because it describes the pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramahamsas. This Bhagavatam reveals the means for becoming free from all material work, together with the process of transcendental knowledge, renunciation and devotion. Anyone who seriously tries to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, who properly hears and chants it with pure devotion, becomes completely liberated. Purport: because Srimad Bhagavatam is completely free of contamination by the modes of nature, it is endowed with extraordinary spiritual beauty and is therefore dear to the pure devotees of the Lord. The word Paramahamsayam indicates that even completely liberated souls are eager to hear and narrate Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are trying to be liberated should faithfully serve this literature by hearing and chanting it with faith and devotion. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Magyanatimrandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksur Anmulitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dhalati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sangrajatam Sahagano Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitam Sha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhano Sude Devi Pranamame Aripriye Vanchakalpatrubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evecha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavya Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadharo Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavata Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsayam Ekam Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate. Tata Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naiskarmyam Aviskritam Tachrivan Supatan Vicharana Paro Bhaktya Vimuchenara. Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless Purana. It is most dear to the Vaishnavas because it describes the pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramahamsas. This Bhagavatam reveals the means for becoming free from all material work, together with the process of transcendental knowledge, renunciation and devotion. Anyone who seriously tries to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, who properly hears and chants it with devotion, becomes completely liberated. So here we are continuing on the subject matter of Lord Shiva. Yesterday morning we have heard from the Canto 12, Chapter 13, Text 16, Nimna Ghanam Yada Ganga Devanam Achyudam Tada Vaishnavanam Yada Sambhu Purananam Idam Tata. That of all the water flowing, Ganges water considered to be, of all the rivers, the Ganges water considered to be a very pure and the topmost. Of all the deity worship, deity of Lord Achyuta considered to be a topmost. Of all the Vaishnavas, Lord Shiva considered to be the topmost. And of all the Puranas, the Srimad Bhagavata Puranam becomes the topmost. And we also, yesterday we heard how the Lord indirectly participating in the governance of this material world by taking a guna avatar. There are 6 kinds of avatars the Lord takes. There is one is called Purusha avatar, another one is called Lila avatar, the third is called Guna avatar, there is Manvantara avatar, the 5th is called Yuga avatar, and the 6th is called Saktivesh avatar. Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, considered to be the Saktivesh avatar, Kali Kalera Dharma, Krishna Nama Sankirtan, Krishna Sakti Vina Nahi Tare Pravartan. According to the Shastra, without Sakti, without empowered by Lord Krishna, no one can spread his glories all around the world. So Prabhupada has proven that he has spread the message all around the world. In this way, Prabhupada been accepted like Lord Buddha. Prabhupada has become a Shakti Vesh avatar. So now we have heard yesterday that, Sattvam Raja Samahiti Prakriti Gunastare Yukta Para Purusa Ekam Ihasya Date Sititi Adhaya. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there chapter Canto 1, chapter 2, text 23, we have heard the verse yesterday. How indirectly Krishna has taken this Guna avatar of Lord Vishnu, of Brahma and Lord Shiva. And we also have heard how in the 64 principal qualities of the different gods, where Krishna always remains 10%, 100%, Aishvaryasya Samagrasya, Viryasya Yasasasriya, Jnana Vairagya Yoschaiva Sannam Bhagam Ithingana Parasaramuni. I mentioned Bhagavan means he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavan means that he possesses all the opulences in the world. In this way, mainly 6 opulences have been said in the scriptures. There is the beauty and knowledge, the strength, the name, and wealth and renunciation. So, these 6 opulences which the human being are seeking for, somewhere or other, there are people empowered, they have got some opulences of this thing. There are people who is very beautiful, there are people who are very knowledgeable, there are people somewhere who are very wealthy. And in this way, there are people, they got possessed of these opulences, but nobody in the world who have possessed all the opulences at one time. That somebody, they are very attractive, they are very poor. Somebody who are very wealthy, but they are stupid, no knowledge in them. In this way, we are seeing in the material world. So in this way that Krishna possesses all the opulences, as we have mentioned yesterday. Krishna possesses all the transcendental attributes 100%. Whereas Lord Vishnu possessed 93%, and Lord Shiva possessed those things 84%, and Brahma possessed those things 78%. And extraordinarily, what Lord Vishnu don't have, that Leela Madhurya, Prema Madhurya, Venu Madhurya and Rupa Madhurya, that beautiful, wonderful pastime Krishna has performed in the Vraja Bhumi, in the land of Vrindavan, with all the devotees there. That Leela is not there in any other god. And the Prema Bhakti devotees, Krishna is surrounded by all the Prema Bhakti devotees. They are also not with anybody else. Krishna's wonderful flute, which conquered the 3 worlds, is also not with anybody. And the beauty of Krishna, Krishna is known as Kesava, that you got a beautiful curly hair. So we shave our head because, surrender to Krishna, that we don't want to compete with you. You are the most beautiful hair you have got, so we surrender. So in this way that we have heard all those things, and yesterday we have heard the story of Virkasura, a demon who have been advised by Narada Muni if he wants anything material, and he wants it very quick, and Lord Shiva will be able to give him, because Lord Shiva is very easily to be pleased, and he also very easily to get angered. So he been sent there, or somewhere or other. When the danger comes, the devotee knows where to go and surrender. So Lord Shiva also exhibited as a Vaishnava, that he ran towards Vaikuntha to seek for the help of Narayan, the Lord. So in this way, the people in general, they go to the demigods because they want something material, and they want it, very easily, without much of endeavor, and they want it very fast, very quickly. And this chapter 7, text 20 21, 22, 23, Krishna explained, Kama sasya rita jnana prapatyanti anya devata tam tam niyamam astaya prakriti niyata swaya. Those intelligent is stolen by the material desires, they go to the demigods. Yo yo yam yam tanu bhakta sradayartati ichchami tasya chalam srada tam aham vidadami kamani. Says that when the living entities desire to go to some demigods for material things, I give them the intelligence how to go to the demigods. And in the same way Krishna says, Sa taya sridaya yukta tasya radhanam ihate labate tata kama mayaiva bihitanyata. But they do not understand whatever they gain from the demigod is is coming through me. And the chapter 7:24 Krishna says that antavantu palamte samsad bhavati alpamedasam devan devo jajoyanti mad bhakti yantiman mapi. That very less intelligent people, they go to the demigods. Those who go to the demigod, they enter the planet of demigods. Those who come to me, my devotee, will be entering into my abode. So in this way, we will see that generally the demigod worshippers, they are not very much interested into the devotional path of Krishna consciousness. There was a devotee, Prabhupada have said this story, there was a devotee of Mother Durga. He had a lot of problem in his life, and somebody told him, you go to Durga's temple, you can solve your problem. So he went to Durga temple and prayed. He told Mother Durga that if you can solve my problem, and I can sacrifice one goat for you. So within 3 days his problem is solved, and he took it very lightly, and he did not go back to Durga temple to fulfill what he has promised. So he was relaxing in the house, but Mother Durga is very intelligent. She came into his dream. He said, don't play the fool with me. You made the promise to offer one goat for me. Where is the goat? And you are not coming anymore to my temple. That will be a big problem for you if you don't fulfill your promise. Then he ran to Durga temple. He says, my dear mother, the goat is very expensive and I'm not able to buy the goat. You please tell me something more cheaper. And Durga says, how about a chicken? Chicken will be more cheaper than the goat. He said, okay. Then he went back to the house. He didn't bother about Mother Durga and his promise. He was relaxing. And Durga came again into his dream and said, my dear boy, where's my chicken? He promised to bring a chicken, but he didn't bring. He said, I've been looking for a chicken, but very difficult to find. So then he said, my dear Mother Durga, please tell me something more easy to get. And Durga Mother said, okay, how about a fly? The fly is flying everywhere. Why not you offer me a fly? And he laughed at Mother Durga. Mother Durga asked him, why you are laughing? And he said, my dear mother, the flies are already flying above your head. You can catch it one by yourself. Bhagavad Bhaktir Inasya Jati Sasra Japasapa Apana Sivaya Deyasya Mandanam Loka Ranjanam. It says that without bhakti, devotion in your heart, whatever mantra you are chanting, whatever Vedas you are reading, whatever puja you are doing, everything becomes useless. It is like a decoration to the dead body. When the body is dead, no life there, you decorate however to that dead body. The dead body is not going to wake up to say, thank you so much for your beautiful garland, for the beautiful offering. Like that, the Shastra says, without a devotion, everything is useless in the world. And devotion is a cultivation. It takes time to cultivate the devotion. Generally, those who are materialistic, they are not very interested into the path of Krishna consciousness because it takes some time and it takes some austerity in the performer. Then ultimately it will be given to him. Klesa Agni Subhada Moksha Laguta Krit Sudullabham. It is said in the Shastra that anybody come to Krishna, they perform bhakti, they get 6 kinds of a blessing, 6 kinds of benediction when you do devotion to Krishna. Klesa Agni Subhada Moksha. That means the first benediction is that there are 3 kinds of suffering in the world. Adi Daivika Klesa, Adi Bhautika Klesa, Adi Atmika Klesa. One kind of suffering coming from the demigods, another kinds of suffering coming from the other living entities around us. The third kind of suffering is our own mind and body gives us a lot of suffering. So by coming to Krishna, taking up devotional service, even you do it very small, very simple, but you do it very sincerely. Krishna says, Neha Bikrama Nasusati Pratyavayora Viliyate Solpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. In the chapter 2, text 40, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, even a small service to him, that will protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So when you do for Krishna devotional service with utmost sincerity, Krishna does not look how much you are giving to him, how much you can chant mantra for him. Krishna is more interested whether can you do it like a crying of a child. Prabhupada says, when the child is sincerely crying for the help, the mother notices and helps them. He said chanting is very easy and very simple. Just like Krishna came to Hastinapur to look for Duryodhana because he brought a peace message to avoid the war of the Mahabharata. So Duryodhana understood Krishna's coming and Duryodhana made lots of preparation of food. And he said, I've prepared a big palace, my brother Dusashan palace, I prepared everything. All the road where Krishna was coming, they've decorated the road and then they've spread perfume, and then they put a lot of diamond and gold. Because the father Dhritarashtra told Duryodhana Krishna is coming with the message. Somewhere or other, if you can attract Krishna to your side, and you'll be victorious in your life. So he made every beautiful arrangement, and the food was ready. So Duryodhana says, my dear Krishna, we have prepared so much of food for you. But despite of this thing, Krishna went to Vidura's house, a wonderful devotee, and his wife Vidurani always meditating when she can see Krishna. When Krishna came, Krishna said, Auntie, I'm very hungry. And immediately she took a banana, peeled the banana, throw the inner part, and she gave the banana skin to Krishna, and Krishna ate very happily. And from very far, Vidura saw the chariot of Krishna standing in front of his house with the Garuda flag. He knows Krishna was there. He was running to the house, and he saw that the wife is giving the banana skin to Krishna. And he pushed the wife away, and then he took a banana, and then he peeled, threw away the skin, and gave the inner part. Krishna said, the skin given by your wife is more better and sweeter, tastier than your banana. So that is all about, Krishna is all about, love, nothing else here. You cannot capture Krishna through your rules and regulations. That's what the other day I said. There are only 2 principles in Krishna consciousness, smartavyam satatam Vishnu, vismartavyam na jatu chit. That means that always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And rules and prohibition in the Shastra is the maid servant, is a sub-servant of this to help you to reach Krishna by always thinking of Krishna, never forgetting him. So in this way, Krishna ate the food there, and then Krishna stayed in Vidura's house. It's a small house, he stayed there. next day when he came to see Duryodhan was very upset with Krishna. He said, my dear Krishna, you have insulted me by not, taking so much food I prepared. Krishna says, for two reasons we can eat in somebody's house. For two reasons you can eat in somebody's house. One, if you are hungry, you will eat the food given by people. And the second is that even you are not hungry, if they give it to you with love, you will also eat. He said, my dear Arjun, I'm not hungry and you don't have love for me. I cannot take your food. So in this way that Krishna consciousness is very, very important for us to understand that, without bhakti you do anything in your life, that, it's not going to be materialized to attract, Krishna consciousness in our life. So in this way, Virkasura didn't have any devotion for Lord Shiva, and he was very envious, seeing the power of Lord Shiva. Prabhupada said there are two kinds of living beings in the world who are envious, two envious human beings. Two envious beings, one is a snake, another one is a human being. There are two envious living beings here, one is snake, another one is human being. He said between these two, the human beings are more dangerous than the snake. The snake is poisonous, very dangerous, very envious. And a human being also, they very dangerous, very envious. Prabhupada said between these two, snake and human being are more dangerous, because snake, by chanting some mantra, you can bring the snake under control. But human being cannot bring under control by any means, because the human being consciousness is very much developed. They have gone to university, they have studied, and a lot of them have done their PhD of the education. They know how to manipulate everything, and they become more danger because of their developed consciousness than the snake. So in this way that here, the Durga worshipper, he finally told Mother Durga to take care of yourself, not to bother me. So the Bhagavatam now comes to the Bhagavatam. Yeah, the Bhagavatam, of course, the first canto, chapter 1, text 1, Janmadiyasya yadanvayat itaratau chardau. Then the Bhagavatam first canto informing us how that Krishna is the cause of all causes in the world. And the second verse of the Bhagavatam, Dharmo projito kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam astu vastu sivadam tapotrayon mulam Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam. Here the second verse it says in the Bhagavatam is that Dharma projito kaitavatra, the kaitava means cheating religion. Srimad Bhagavatam kicks off all the cheating religion. What Virkasura came to Lord Shiva, that is the cheating religion. Now this worshipper of Durga go to Durga for material gain, that also cheating religion. So Bhagavatam kicks out reject all the cheating religion and establish the true religion which distinguish between body and soul, which also brings in the bhakti jnanam vairagyam. That bhakti means devotion to Krishna, means it has to be accompanied by knowledge, and it also has to be accompanied by detachment. You cannot do bhakti without using your brain. That's what Shastra. Kapiladev says in the third canto, chapter 29, text 8, 9, 10, 11 onward, he says that abhisandaya yoyim sam dhanbam matsaryam evacha sambramibhina drigbhavam mayi kuryate satamasa bhakti. The devotion in the mode of ignorance is that imsam, abhisandaya yoyimsam, means this devotee will be doing some bhakti practices by his very violence devotee. He's very violent, you cannot advise him. Advise him something, then he may be very upset with you and he may take a knife and chase you around. There are some temples, some places that happen, two devotees were not in term, and one of the Brahmana devotee took a knife and chased another Brahmana devotee. Abhisandaya yo imsam. Imsam means they're very violent, either through mentally or through by speech or physically. Dambam Matsaryam. Dambam means they're very proud about the advancement in Krishna consciousness. And Matsarya, they're very envious of the progress to see other devotees, advancement. And Sambrami means they get angry, agitated very easily. Prabhupada says Vaishnavas never become angry. The karmi outside, karmi become angry. When karmi sees somebody doing more better than them, they want to finish them off. Somebody equal to them, they think that I'm more better than that person. And somebody lower than them, the karmi want to dominate, want to control them. Somebody more lower, they want to control. Somebody equal, they think they're more better. Somebody more higher, the karmi wants to finish them off. But Prabhupada says devotees are different. Devotees, when they see somebody doing more better in Krishna consciousness, devotee very happy for them and they go for guidance. When devotees see somebody equal to them, they become friend to them. And devotees see somebody lower than them, they become compassion, they try to help them. So Prabhupada said there's a difference between devotees dealing and the karmi dealing, because devotees don't have any enmity. They don't compete anything in the material world because their goal is not the material world. Their goal is this spiritual world, so they don't have to fight for anything here because there is no requirement and anything for them here. So in this way, Bhagavatam, Dharma Projito Kaitovatra, that means Bhagavatam reject all the cheating religion and establishes the true religion. And in this way that it becomes, today's word is said that Paramahamsayam, Today was very beautifully Srimad Bhagavata Puranam Amalam Yat Vaishnava Priyam Yasmin Paramahamsayam Ekam Amalam. Beautifully, today it's been said that Bhagavata Puranam is very, very Priyam, very dear to the Vaishnavas. So, those who have heard the Bhagavata Puranam, they are liberated. That is what today it has been said here. And Prabhupada says that, you hear the Bhagavatam with, faith, and seriousness, you get liberation from the material world. So, Lord Shiva have heard the Bhagavatam very nicely. And there was a time that the Lord Goddess Parvati, being the sister of Krishna, so Krishna made the arrangement for her to get married. And there's a system normally, in the family, they go, the elders in the family those days, they try to make some arrangement for their, family members, the youngest to get married. And Krishna has made that arrangement for Parvati, that she has made arrangement with Lord Shiva to marry Parvati, but Parvati have not seen Lord Shiva before. But she respects the brother, my brother have made the arrangement, and she thought whatever my brother Krishna makes, all will be very good for me. So there are 8 kinds of marriages in the Vedic time. One is called Brahma Vivaha, second is called Daiva Vivaha, third is called Arsa Vivaha, fourth is called Prajapati Vivaha, fifth is called Asura Vivaha, sixth is called Gandharva Vivaha, seventh is called Rakshasa Vivaha, eighth is called Pisasa Vivaha. Pisasa Vivaha means a ghostly marriage. That means the first 4 marriages are recommended in the Vedas. That will bring a great benefit those who are getting married. The second 4, is not recommended. That won't help even to those people who are getting married. Brahma Vivaha is that. Those days the boy is being sent to the Gurukul to learn how to, control their mind and senses, how to understand the creation of the Lord, how to work on the spiritual platform. So those who have gone to the Gurukul and studied, they come out. And then the parents look for those who are, finished their Gurukulam, Brahmacharya life, and they get their daughter to marry to a brahmachari. That is called Brahma Vivaha. In that Vivaha to the brahmachari and the girl, the baby born, the baby can deliver the 21 generation from the forefathers. 21 generation of forefathers, just like Lord Narishingadev told Prahlad Maharaj not to worry about your father. Tri Saptabhi Pithabhi, he said, by a person in the family becoming a good devotee of Krishna, 21 generation of their forefathers will be delivered, 7 from the past, 7 from the present, 7 in the future. So here, the first marriage, arranged marriage by the parents to the brahmachari, that will deliver, the child born to that couple will deliver 21 generation of forefathers. The second marriage is called Brahma Vivaha, that happens among the devotees' children getting married. That also arranged marriage. The child born from that family will be able to deliver 15 generation of forefathers. The third one is called Arsa Vivaha. They get them married, and then they don't give any dowry, nothing. Just by simply chanting some mantras, they bless the couple and go. That also arranged marriage. And from that marriage, the child born can deliver 13 generation of forefathers. And the fourth, marriage is called Prajapatiya marriage. That, when they marry and go, they give a bull or cow for them to go and, take care of their life. And that by that marriage, when the child is born, it can deliver 7 generations of forefathers. So the first, 4 marriages are very much, recommended in the Shastra for the, deliverance of the, conditioned soul from the world. To that marriage, you can hire a bigger hall, you can, print a beautiful wedding card, you can bring in a very, expensive, good musician, and you bring a good, pandit to chant mantra, because these marriages are, bona fide and is very much recommended. The other 4 marriages, the Shastra say, you don't need to print any wedding card, you don't need to hire any hall, you don't need to bring the musician, you don't need to bring the pandit, because they themselves, those who are getting married, they themselves cannot, deliver themselves. So the other marriage is called Asura Vivaha, that, the child, the girl, they sell the girl for dowry, that, in India and Pakistan, third world country, it happens that, the baby girl has been, sold for money in the name of marriage, and, they cannot deliver anything of themselves for children. The second one is called, not recommended marriage, is the Gandharva, is a love marriage. In our tradition, marriage is known as the Kanyadhan. That means a boy not able to take care of himself, and they think the boy will become more responsible when he get married. Those happens in India. Even, my family, my brother was 30 years old, not married. And, my cousin came and said, your son is quite irresponsible. If marry, you'll be settled down, you'll become responsible, get him married, So to take care of the boy, to become more responsible, somewhere or other, they donate a girl to them. That means, Kanyadan, that means this boy is useless, he needs a girl to, educate the boy to become more responsible, So when you give a dan charity, you must give, right, the first class, material. You cannot give the used one, as I know. So the marriage, love marriage, normally when it doesn't, works out well, and the girl, after she go and marry another person, and, that remembrance, that memory, that, experiences will have, some impact, negative impact of family. So that, love marriage also not very recommended. The third is called Rakshasa Vivaha. By force, they get the the girl to get married, even though she doesn't like it. And the fourth is called a Pisasha, ghostly marriage, that the girl and boy come together, and, in the name of love, the boy promises a lot of things. Normally, they meet in the Facebook, and then they communicate in the Facebook, and he glorify the girl about her beauty, the way she look and walk and everything, or you are the best. And the girl thinks, my parents always scolding me, but he's the only boy, always glorifying me. He's a very nice guy. They met in the shopping center, somewhere or other, some relationship develop, and one day the girl tells him, I'm pregnant now with your child. And all the time he never had an idea to marry the girl. He just wanted to use the girl. And the moment he heard, that the girl is pregnant, he disappeared from there. And, girl sitting and crying one corner. The parents are very worried. And somebody one day come and tells him, oh, your boy, I know the boy was hanging around with your girl. He is now working in Berlin. I saw him in one restaurant working in Berlin. So the parents go there, with, all the relatives, go and beat him up and bring him back to this place and get him married. That is called ghost marriage, unplanned. So there are 8 kinds of marriages. There are 12 kinds of children are born. It's called Aurus and Satrian. Why the world is big problem? There are 12 kinds of children are moving around. Anyway, now we come to the subject matter. Now, Parvati, she believes Krishna will have the good choice for her. So she believed, and then, she was very eager to wait for to see who is going to marry me. She wanted to see a husband, and waiting. Shiva was coming a little bit late for the marriage. And before he was coming, there are a big group of, all his, Bhutas, he lives to all kinds of people around. And they were coming, all the big vibration coming. Shivaya Namahom, Shivaya Namahom, Shivaya Namahom, Namah Shivaya, Shivaya Namahom, Shivaya Namahom, Shivaya Namahom, Namah Shivaya. All chanting Shiva's name and coming. And somebody went and told Parvati, the groom, the man who is going to marry you, is coming. But I look at that, look at the people coming. You got all these people, Bhutas, like animals, snakes, so many, ugly people are coming. I do not know who is going to marry you. And she was waiting and waiting, thinking that she was going to be very attractive. And when Shiva came into the, hall, and she saw for the first time, and Shiva was with a snake, matted hair, all over the body, ashes, and with the tiger skin, and he's just coming from the hellish planet. So he looks like a hellish person. The moment she looked, she fainted, I did not, realize that my brother is going to make this kind of arrangement. Who is going to marry this guy, never even, look at him. Even he wants to come and get married, he should be wearing, a nice, beautiful garland, but he got human skull around his neck, he got all this, not even a proper wedding dress and anything. So and then after that she got up, and she was crying. She sent somebody, go and bring my brother. So Krishna came, and then she said, my dear sister, why you are crying? Brother, I trusted you. I thought you would look a very good person for me, very attractive person. Look at him, Krishna says, in time to come you will understand he is the best choice for your life. So Krishna told and left. And then, so she said, okay, I want to talk to, this man before I marry him. So she said, okay, you're going to marry me. Is it true? Lord Shiva said, yes. Why? Because your brother told me. I respect your brother. He is the master of everything. So I respect him. And she said, okay, you are coming to marry me. At least you wear proper clothes and come. Why you are wearing the tiger skin? And she said, there's a story about the tiger skin. I was hanging around in the forest, and and I was without a cloth. I was, meditating on the Supreme Lord, and somebody made, big hole, big, pit, and they put a tiger inside because they were not happy there. In the same place, there were some other sages, they were also there with their wife and all. They were not very happy hanging around without a cloth. And they made a big pit, big hole, and they put a tiger there so that when I fall inside, the tiger can kill me. So I went inside, and then, I fall inside. And then, I killed the tiger. I know the instinct of the animal. and I took, the tiger skin and I wear it to myself, not to disappoint them. That is how the tiger skin have come. And she asked him, how about a snake? You got a snake around your neck. He said that, this is not ordinary snake. This is the second best after the Ananda Sesha. This is known as Vasuki snake. It has helped, to churning the ocean of milk. And, they have used this Vasuki so much, and, it hurt so much of her body. She has also, drank the poison, came out from the milk ocean, but she was very focused into the work, and she was not agitated, and she was peaceful all the time. So I was attracted by the quality of this Vasuki snake. And Vasuki the snake came and surrendered. He says, my dear Lord Shiva, my body is in so much of pain, so much poison I've drank. You are the only person who can help me. So I took the snake and then I gave the shelter around my neck. That is how the Vasuki snake have come. And she said, how about, your ashes, in your body? He says it's a symbol of detachment. It is a symbol of renunciation. It is a symbol of spirituality. Everything in the world goes back to dust again. And people must understand the material world, you're finally a dust and nothing else. And she said, how about the trident you are carrying in your hand? And she said that, there are three shula, three sharp, things are there in trident. That represents Lord Brahma, represents, me, Lord Shiva, represents Lord Vishnu. If anybody wants to come out from the three modes of material nature, they must surrender into the path of, spirituality. And that represents, the past, present and future. So he said, that is how, I like to help the people, in the lower grade of life. And then she asked, what about the moon you got in your head, He says that, I've given a shelter, to, Chandra, the moon god, because the moon god was married to 27 girls, the daughter of Daksha, and he married to 27. He should be equally treating all these women, but he was too much focusing on only one, the Rohini, the one daughter. He was very attracted to her. And the other 26, they went and complained to Father Daksha that, he is, not treating us properly. And Daksha cursed that, slowly you will be, fading away. So, fading away, what I can do is I came to Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, gave me the shelter, and Lord Shiva said, don't worry, that will be, waning and waxing moon. So as long as you are, on my head, you'll be protected all the time. So they're talking and all, then she said, finally I want to ask you, okay, you keep everything. What about your human skull, At least today is a wedding day. You take and throw away the human skull and put a garland, wedding garland. And Shiva said, that one I cannot do. She said, today is a wedding day. You take out, throw away the human skull. He said, that is my life and soul. I cannot do the thing. And she repeatedly telling him, take away, only wedding garland you have to use, we have to exchange the garland. Where he said, this is my life and soul, I cannot take and throw away the human skull. And she asked, why? And he said, look, this human skull is not somebody else, it's you, Parvati. Many lifetimes you've been meditating to marry me, to have me as your husband. And all the lifetime, every lifetime you die without marrying me, But, so when you die, I take your skull, put it, make a garland. All these heads, there was you, that, many lifetimes you have become failure in marrying me. So I made a garland and put on around my neck. So you are my life and soul. And she began to cry. She said, how wonderful is my brother Krishna. That my, garland of, skull of garland that, he has put around, and keeping it as his life and soul. And she said, but I got one question for you. I got a doubt on you. What is that? He said, many lifetime I was there. And you said you also were there. Many lifetime I died without marrying you. That is how you got my skull around your neck. How come you did not die? If I died, I died. I died. but you, how come you did not die? He said, that is because I heard the Srimad Bhagavata Puranam. He said, those who hear the Srimad Bhagavata Puranam, they will be eternally liberated from the conditional life. So in this way, Lord Shiva have heard the Bhagavatam, and Lord Shiva also, he speaks the Bhagavatam. As you know, one time he was narrating the Bhagavatam to Parvati, and that time before Radharani and Krishna, they left, from the material, Leela. And Radharani was keeping a parrot. This parrot is a messenger, it's like a postman. So all the time, whenever Radharani wants to pass a message to Krishna, she sent this parrot Sukha to Krishna with the message. So after the pastime over in this world, they wanted to leave, and Sukha also wants to follow, and Radharani said, no, you stay here. You see how you can, take care of the Bhagavatam Katha. So she left and go, and then Sukha was hanging around. He has to go and hear the Bhagavatam, that is, his life and soul. And then he came to Kailash, that is where Lord Shiva is sitting and narrating the Srimad Bhagavatam to Parvati. And Parvati hearing, she goes, So Lord Shiva was talking, Bhagavatam. And then he was, absorbed in speaking the Bhagavatam. And Parvati gone into a sleep. She was sleeping in the Bhagavatam class. But then the Sukha, the parrot, was sitting in the tree, and then he was relishing the hearing of the Bhagavatam. And now Sukha was going, okay, So instead of Parvati, then after this thing, and then when finished reading the Bhagavatam, and Lord Shiva asked Parvati, so relish the Bhagavatam Katha. She said, my dear husband, I'm very sorry. Earlier part, I listened, but after that, I went to sleep really. Then Lord Shiva said, if you're going to sleep, then who was, noting, who was telling? Look around, and he saw the parrot, Sukha was sitting in the tree, and then he take his trident, because actually the good things, you don't want to give it to anybody and everybody. You give it to somebody who can preserve the, most valued thing. So in the same way, the mantra, you don't give it to a demon, just like, Lord Shiva gave the blessing to Virkasura, then he himself got into a trouble. So Lord Shiva said, Bhagavatam is only meant for the devotees to hear, but now this parrot, I've heard this thing, somewhere or other, I don't think so, it's very qualified, took the trident and then began to chase the parrot. And he was chasing, parrot was flying, chasing and going, and then the parrot came to a place where Vyasadeva is narrating, talking Bhagavatam to his wife Bitika, and then, at one point, she just yawned, like that, and then the parrot entered into her mouth, and then she went into the belly of Bitika, the wife of Vyasa. And parrot stayed there for 16 years, and then she was pregnant. Normally the child come out after 9 months, here 16 years, did not come out. And Vyasa was telling, you cannot stay there for that long, you have to come out, And then he said, I don't like, I'm scared to come out here because, material world is a very dangerous place. But somewhere or other, Vyasa says, don't worry. As long as Srimad Bhagavatam Katha is there, always everybody is protected. In this way that, he came as the son of Vyasadeva. So there is a way to understand that, there are a lot of material, religion, cheating religions are happening in the world. To counteract the cheating religion, and the Srimad Bhagavata Puranam has come in, Dharma Projito Kaitavatra Paramo Nissarmasanam Satam Vedyam Vastavam Astu Vastru Sivadam Tapotrayan Mulam Srimad Bhagavata Puranam. So now it kicks out all the cheating religion and establishes the truth for the ultimate benefit of the living being. So now there are 4 kinds of people. Here the Bhagavatam, the Shastra says, there are people in the mode of goodness, hear the Bhagavatam. There are people in the mode of passionate, hear the Bhagavatam. There are people in the mode of ignorance and people, those who are in the transcendental level, they also hear the Bhagavatam. The Shastra says that those people... Oh yeah. You okay?
They just came with a big thing. I have to... That's okay.
So there are 4 kinds of people hear the Bhagavatam. Those who are in the mode of goodness, they hear the Bhagavatam, they hear for 1 month. Those who are in the mode of goodness. Those who are in the mode of passionate, they hear Bhagavatam for 1 week, 7 days. Those who are mode of ignorant, they hear Bhagavatam as they like. They like, they come, they don't like, they don't come. Mode of ignorance, they like, they hear as they like. Those on the mode of passionate, they hear for 1 week. They call it a Bhagavatam Sabda in India. People are eager. Even, sometimes the speaker goes to Australia, New Zealand, they speak for 7 days. So people come for 7 days. After that, there is nothing to do with Bhagavatam anymore for them. So the Shastra says, those on the mode of passionate, they hear for 7 days. Those who are on the mode of goodness, they hear for 1 month. Those who are transcendental, they hear every day. And how to hear the Bhagavatam, there are 2 kinds of listeners are there in the Bhagavatam. One is called superior, another one is called inferior. Paras and avaras. The superior way of listening to the Bhagavatam, they are like, Chataka bird. Number 1, they are like a swan, they are like a parrot, they are like a fish. Chataka bird, Prabhupada explained, these birds fly very high in the sky and they only drink the rainwater. So they are flying and flying, they are waiting for the rain to come to drink the water. Even there are water anywhere else, they never go for any other water, they only want to drink the rainwater. This Chataka, so the Shastra says that, the devotees, they don't go for anything else to hearing. Only they hear about the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. They only into Krishna consciousness, nothing else, like the Chataka bird. Even though Prabhupada says the Chataka bird flying and thirst for water, but instead of rain, there's a thunderbolt coming from the sky. But Chataka bird, they never bother about the thunderbolt. They only want to go back to drinking the rainwater. Prabhupada says, in your Krishna consciousness, there can be so many tests and tribulation and like a thunderbolt, but you must be like a Chataka bird. You come here for one very reason, that you want to revive your Krishna consciousness. For that reason you have come always, you be like a Chataka bird. Don't worry about other, tests and tribulation. And finally you will get what you need. And the second is that, Sastra, you should be like a swan when hearing Bhagavatam. Swan means that, swan, you give, some milk mixed with water. The swan can drink the milk and then leave the water and go. So when you're hearing Bhagavatam, according to your level of, surrender, like we are sannyasi talking our level, and you are grihastha, you got your level, that you cannot, give up everything and come. So now you take, the swan takes the milk out, the water. So you take what is required for now for practice, and, to see your family, responsibility and other thing. And slowly, one day come to that level. So a listener should be like a swan. First, they should be like a Chataka, however difficult, sit and hear. Second, they should be like a swan, take what is required at the moment now. And the third, they should be like a parrot. Parrot, you just teach the parrot, and the parrot repeat the same things to you. The parrot never add in anything else, And the third is that they usually be like a fish. The fish in the water is always eyes are open. You do not know when the fish is sleeping, So a listener to the Bhagavatam should be like a fish. If you are sitting and listening, you feel sleepy. Prabhupada says, one time Prabhupada was giving class and some devotee was sleeping. Prabhupada said, oh, you all are sleeping in the class? They said, Prabhupada, last night, we had a lot of work to do and we slept late. And, that is why we are sleeping in the class. Prabhupada said, this all, layman excuse you gave, not because you slept late or anything, because you don't understand the importance of hearing Bhagavatam. If you understand the importance, you'll go and wash your face and come and sit. The moment you wash your face, you're no more sleeping. So like that, listening to the Bhagavatam, we must be like a fish. This is a superior level of listening. Like a Chataka bird, like a swan, like a parrot, and like a fish. And there are inferior ways of listening. It is called wolf. It makes always noise in the forest. And then the second is Barudra bird. And the Barudra bird, they talk a lot, but they don't execute, don't do what they are talking. The third is like a bull, and the fourth is like a camel. So the inferior listening is that like a wolf, the wolf is screaming, making noise in the forest, very difficult for others to sleep there. So the Bhagavatam listener, should not, just enter and go and as they like, it disturbs the concentration, of the speaker, and then for the other listener, so they cannot be, this is inferior. As you like, you come in, as you like, you go out, and within this, doing this one and that one, it cannot be done. This inferior listening. It is like, wolf. And number two is that, it is like a Barudra. Barudra kind of bird, they speak a lot, but they don't follow what they speak, So you cannot be just sitting and speaking only, you got to be exemplary for what you are talking. So the Shastra says the speaker must be qualified, the listener also must be qualified. If the speaker, speaking, about devotion, but the listener only thinking about material advancement, it doesn't go well. So both also must be in the similar mindset. So they cannot be like, the Barudra bird. Number third is like the bull. The bull clean, they go and you bathe them in the clean water. After that, they go back to the, dirty water, muddy water. So the Bhagavatam, speaker or listener, they cannot, one time you hear and then make yourself clean, and again you go back and indulge, in all kinds of sinful activities. It cannot be like a bull. And the fourth is the camel. Camel in the, in the desert land, the camels are eating some sharp, thing, and there's a blood oozing out from their own tongue. They find it very taste. The same way, Bhagavatam listener, they cannot find fault, on the speaker, on any other thing. So the listener, those who are inferior in nature, they are like a wolf, they are like a Barudra bird, they are like a bull, and they are like a camel. And those who are very superior listener, they are like a Chataka bird, and they are like a swan, they are like a parrot, and they are like a fish. And here, not only Lord Shiva is, attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam, not only, Srimad Bhagavatam, is his life and soul, but Lord Shiva also have, beautifully glorified about Bhagavad Gita. There is a Gita Mahatmya, and Lord Shiva have told, Parvati about the glories of Bhagavad Gita. It says, the Prabhupada is quoted in the Bhagavad Gita, there are 7 slokas. Prabhupada have quoted, Gita Sastram Idam Punyam Yapade Prayate Puman Vishnu Padam Avapnoti Bhaya Sokadi Varjita. Those follow the instruction of the Gita. Lord Shiva told Parvati that, they'll become fearless. Anything fear, they are not, disturbed. He says, even you become a fear of death, but by following the instruction of Bhagavad Gita, a person become free of fear. Gita dhyayena silasya pranayama parasya cha naivam shanti papani purva janma kritari cha. People are not happy and peaceful in their life due to their purva janma, due to their previous life karma. By seriously, taking Bhagavad Gita in their life, they become free from their previous life karma. They become happy and peaceful. The third, he says that maline mochanam pumsam jalasnanam Dine dine sakri gita amrita snanam samsara maranasanam. The third, he says that to clean the body, they're using the water to clean their body by, taking, Bhagavad Gita, which is like a Ganges water. Not only they clean the body, they cleanse all their, previous reaction, of in their life. And fourth, he says that Gita Sugita Kartavyam Kimanya Sastra Vistare Ya Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padma Vinisra. He said there is no requirement for people to read different kinds of Vedic literature. He said generally in Kali Yuga people will be very lazy and they don't have any inclination towards spiritual life. And they don't have time to read, so many different kinds of Vedic literatures and Puranas, this and that. Read Bhagavad Gita alone is already good enough. By reading Bhagavad Gita, you get the benefit of reading every other scripture because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the fifth verse, he says that Bharat Amrista Sarvesam Vishnu Bhaktam Vinisrate Gita Gangodakam Pitva Punarjanmana Vidyate. He says that, in India there is no holy river Ganges is running. By bathing in the Ganga, one becomes purified in their life. And by, reading Bhagavad Gita, which is, as good as Ganga, by reading Bhagavad Gita, he gets all the benefit of bathing in the Ganga. And the sixth sloka, he says that Sarvopani Sador Muktam Doktam Gopalanandana Parthavatsa Surir Bhakta Doktam Gita Amrita Mahali. He says of all the Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Upanishad. Bhagavad Gita is like a cow. Krishna is the milker of the cow, and he takes the milk of Bhagavad Gita, give it to the devotees like Arjuna. And the seventh, he says that Eka Sasram Deviki Putra Gitam Eko Deva Deviki Putra Heva Eko Mantra Tasya Namani Yani Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. Lord Shiva told Parvati, in time to come in future, people will be looking for one scripture in the world. The Bhagavad Gita will become one scripture for the entire human society. People will be looking for only one God to worship, and Krishna will become the supreme Lord for everybody to worship. And people will be, wanting to do only one seva, one service, and the service to Krishna will become a prime service for the human society. Finally, he says that in time to come in future, that people will be only looking for only one mantra to chant. He says the chanting of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. This will become the only mantra in the world. So Lord Shiva may appear to be, a demigod, somebody appear to be away from what we are thinking, but is very closely associated with the glories of Krishna. Is always thinking how to, execute Krishna's, order, but under Krishna's order that, is executing everything. Now, there is also a statement by Lord Shiva to Parvati that how he is going to mislead the people in Kali Yuga. So that we will see tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for being here today. You are very, very good students. You are like Chataka. You are like, Amsa Swan. You are like a parrot and you are like a fish. Thank you so much for being here. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Pramanande.